What's up everybody, my name is Ben and today we got the iPhone 11 Pro. Let's see just how good this thing still is in 2024 and then answer the big question. Is this peak iPhone? Let's jump right into it. So this is it. This is the iPhone 11 Pro, of course in the beautiful gold color. And this phone is now coming up on 5 years old, which is crazy to believe. But now that we got the iPhone 16 Pro, the very first Pro iPhone came out 5 years ago. So this phone has aged beautifully. Not only was this the very first iPhone to include the 3-camera setup, but it also was the last iPhone that we had that had those truly curved edges outside of the iPhone SE. And that makes for this phone far more comfortable to hold in the hand, even compared to the newer iPhone 15 Pro and 16 Pro that also have more curved edges but are still relatively squared off. Especially given the smaller size of the iPhone 11 Pro, the screen is only 5.8 inches. I think this is a far more comfortable phone to hold than many newer iPhones are. But for all intents and purposes, this phone looks incredibly modern, and there's not a lot of people that are going to realize that you have a 5-year-old phone just because it still looks so good and you have that 3-camera setup, which is still the norm for Pro iPhones. Now, there were two big improvements that the iPhone 11 Pro brought to the table compared to the iPhone XS. The first one is the camera. Now, this is the first triple iPhone camera. This was the first triple camera iPhone with a 12 megapixel standard lens, an ultra wide lens, and then the telephoto lens. And this camera also was the very first iPhone to support night mode, which is a huge upgrade if you ever are taking pictures late at night. There's really a night and day difference. So I'll just go ahead and show you a few of my sample pictures that I've taken with this iPhone 11. Let's go ahead and just open some of these up. So first off, this is a 4K 60 recording that I took outside with this camera, and you can see just how smooth and how nice it looks. And then here's the selfie camera. This selfie does feel like a wider angle than previous iPhones, and it's still very nice looking in 2024. More outdoor shots here just highlight how nice this camera performs in greater light. And then here we just have a picture, more of a macro picture. You can see how nicely it does process that picture. It's really nice looking. And then finally, one of the weaknesses of the iPhone 11 Pro is the lack of a lot of zoom capability. So newer iPhones, starting with the iPhone 14 Pro, the 15, and now the 16 Pro, have a 48 megapixel sensor. Now you can see here I'm trying to zoom in on a boat that was on the lake. It doesn't look great in this shot, and there's not a lot of detail to it. And that's just something that is better and nicer with those newer cameras that have more megapixels to them. But overall, this is a very nice camera that you can see takes fantastic pictures. You can see here indoors, the picture is a little bit more fuzzy with not as much light. But as a whole, I think this is a very impressive camera, and it still holds its own in 2024. Now, the other huge improvement with the iPhone 11 Pro was in the battery department. Now, Apple with the iPhone 10 and 10s had a 3D touch layer that was beneath, of course, the display. And they removed that with the iPhone 11 Pro, which is one of the saddest parts in iPhone history, if you ask me. But with making more room inside of this phone, they were able to add in a bigger battery for this generation. And on top of that, they also added the A13 chip, which was more efficient than the A12, which preceded it. And all of that made for an experience in the battery that is far improved. Usually with my iPhone 10, my iPhone XS, I have reviews on them on my channel. I would get about 3 hours of screen on time on a pretty good day. But with this iPhone 11 Pro, I've consistently been able to get about 5 hours of screen on time. And that makes the difference between a phone that isn't usable and one that truly is still, even in our present day. So all this discussion really begs the question, how good is this phone to use now in 2024 when it just comes to the daily performance of it? And this phone really does perform well. I have noticed though that when low power mode is on, I just barely turn that on to be able to show you it, but when low power mode is on, it is noticeably a little bit more laggy. But as you can see with me just opening up these basic Apple applications on here, Even in low power mode, it's totally usable. But all things considered, this phone really flies through just the basic phone tasks. Now, I'm not much of a gamer when it comes to, playing intense games on my iPhone. I'm just not that person. But in my experience with this phone and having used newer iPhones, there's just a little bit of a delay behind everything, but it's completely usable, and I think it's surprising just how good this thing is given it's 5 years old. Okay, so now I just wanted to take a quick second to look on eBay and see how much these things are going for now. So we're gonna start a little recording here on my MacBook Air, and we're gonna look at them together on eBay. iPhone 11 Pro, excluding the Max. So you can see here, this is one $240 for unlocked, 64 gigabytes. Here's an AT&T model for $250, $286. So you can see it's probably about $250 to $300 for one that's unlocked and in decent condition. And that being said, this is a good phone and you're getting a lot in terms of the design. You're getting the 3-camera setup. You're getting something that's smaller than the more modern iPhones, if that's something that you care about. But if I were just recommending you getting a used iPhone, I think the iPhone 12 is actually about the exact same price. As you can see here, $274, $245 for a carrier locked model. Then you got the 12 mini, which is even cheaper than that, of course. But with the iPhone 12, you're getting a better main camera sensor. You're getting the A14 chip, which is faster, and you're getting an extra year of software support. And it's just a more modern iPhone. So I think if you're looking at the budget value proposition here, the iPhone 11 Pro is not the phone to get. But if you care about, the design that you're getting here, the stainless steel, the smaller screen size, and kind of the certain classiness that the iPhone 11 Pro has to it, then this is your phone. So all of that brings us to the big question on the video title. Is this peak iPhone? Now, obviously, iPhones are continuing to get better. They're getting faster, the batteries are lasting longer, the cameras have more megapixels, the cameras produce better pictures. But when we look retrospectively at iPhones and what they brought to the table each year when they came out, and just the overall package that you're getting with this phone, I think the iPhone 11 Pro makes a really good case to be the best iPhone ever made in terms of peak iPhone. We look at 2019, we look at phone batteries didn't last very long. Phone cameras weren't very good. Phones couldn't take good pictures during the night. The iPhone 11 Pro fixed every single one of those areas and still puts it in a beautiful package that's almost timeless, and it still works great even in 2024. So I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Please let me know down below all of your thoughts on the iPhone 11 Pro. And please, of course, I'm an open book. Ask me any questions below and give me any sort of feedback that you have on the style of this video or any pluses or minuses I can improve on. So thank you all so much. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.